on Elevation Radio.
God bless you. This is Elevation Radio 1, and I'm your host, Pastor Steve, the Music Man Turner, and we're so glad you took the journey with us. This is the program that spotlights positive people doing positive work while serving a positive God whose name is Jesus. And on that note, everybody ought to clap their hands. Yes, indeed. Listen, our subject matter today is urban abortions. Urban abortions. Who has the right to choose? America is divided over abortion. Pro-life advocates say that that the inception of pregnancy signifies life. Pro-choice advocates say that an embryo is not a person, and unless the fetus can survive 22 to 24 weeks outside the womb, it is not alive. Why, however, are most abortion clinics located in the urban city? That means the hood, the ghetto. Why are most of the clientele poor minorities? Is this a strategic plan to exterminate the black race by population control? If so, why is this concept allowed to exist in these Americas? Lord have mercy. For that, before we get into this, I want to say that this is March 10th is the 10th or the 7th anniversary of our church, which is actually the sponsor of this program, Destiny Changers Deliverance Center, which started in 2013, and it's been 7 years of giving God the glory, and we just want to thank God for helping us to survive and to help as many people as we can, not with brick and mortar, but now with the podcast, and that's great. Now we're going over to our verse, none other than my lovely wife, the First Lady, Leora Turner.
Yes, hello. For God doeth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and ye shall be as good, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also to her husband with her, and he did eat.
My goodness, and the world will be the same. So, I'm going to thank you for that, sweetheart. We are going to get into, no problem. We're going to get into this subject matter. What is an abortion? It is potential killing of the undeveloped embryo or fetus. That's what it is. And it's a Latin term, AB, which means to be born. The word means to be born, but the action is to kill the fetus embryo so that it can't be born. Isn't that incredible? And the other term for abortion, it means off the mark. I mean, you're missing something. You didn't hit the bullseye. And that's the belief that when you don't have the child, you're missing something. Oh, my goodness. Listen, if you have an opinion, if you've had an abortion, if you've been the victim where a woman has had an abortion and didn't tell you about it, father intended, how did you feel about it? 1-914-205-5353. 1-914-205-5353. I found out that you can actually register to get an abortion and get a plan. My goodness. It can be done in 60 minutes or less. Were you aware of that? And let's see here, in the first trimester, the candidate actually had to be pregnant between 5 and 14 weeks. And one fertility clinic states, it boils down to that they will bring them in alone. You can't bring anybody with you. You'll be greeted by female staff. No males allowed. You put a star beside that, a pin. No males allowed inside the fertility clinic. That clinic is normally, well, there's so many now, and they will get a sonogram performed to verify the gestation age of the intended embryo or fetus. Well, at this point, embryo. They're trying to determine the Rh factor, which is basically the inherited protein on the surface of the red blood cells. And they will eventually give them a RHO gem injection. That procedure takes about 30 to 45 minutes. They will also give them at some point in the midst of all this medication to help loosen the cervix. And that's the medication is Xanax.
Mm-hmm.
So you get high while you're trying to get this procedure done. Well, I saw a video of this thing and had a video to market it, and there was nurse clinics all over. But this one video had a theme, and it says, "I choose," with a variety of women to do what they want to do, and to control whatever life they want to have, because it's their life first above anything else. Isn't that amazing? And so they decided they don't want what they have laid down to get, and that is a child, a gift from God. Well, in Jeremiah, it says 11:4 and 5. We're trying to ask who has the right to choose. It's God says, "Before I formed you," it was talking to his servant Jeremiah. "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. And before you were born, I consecrated you." Isn't that amazing? That God has knowledge of us before we become embryos and fetuses, before the father knew what he was doing, the gleam in his eye, looking at the mother. But the woman has the right to choose, not God. Oh my goodness. All right, well, I'm starting on. So where did this process come from? Where you have the commercial extermination, making money, profiting from the termination of pregnancy. Where does the idea come from? And when we think about this in the urban setting of the city municipalities, we think of Planned Parenthood. Yes, we do. We do Planned Parenthood, and we wonder, where did it come from? It says here that it was actually the brainchild of one Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger and her sister and another lady named Fania Mendel began to put that in place in New York City in 1916. Amazing. And it's now a springboard all the way up to be political powerhouse. And there's actually an international Planned Parenthood located in London, England. So they're now international. But the question is they specialize in reproductive health care. And so we want to look into the background of the CEO who founded it and see what she was made of. Margaret Sanger came from a family of Irish immigrants, which means they weren't even born here, bringing their stuff over here to America. She studied nursing, and she actually pursued what was she named reproductive justice, because she saw another young woman get a defective, dysfunctional abortion, and she made it her business to change that. She actually produced a method of again at the first control center in October of 1916, and it was closed 9 days later for violations of the Comstock law, which stated that abortions were obscene and illegal. And many feel that way today, that abortions are obscene and illegal. And if you feel that way, whoever you are, if you just don't like the word abortion, you like what it means, what it stands for, what they do, call us at 1-914-205-5353. If you're a pro-lifer, give us a call. That's not a problem. Says she was arrested and spent jail time, so she was a convict for starting this birth control at that time. Well, you would think that perhaps maybe she would, straighten up and fly right, but no. But when she came out from jail with the stripes on, she began to start pursuing her illicit work and started another organization called the Birth Control League of America. Can you believe that? Which eventually morphed into Planned Parenthood in 1942, and began to offer other services out. And as the 60s came about, the pill, the morning after pill, sung by Loretta Lynn, country singer, intrauterine devices, and legal abortion. She believed that enforced motherhood was something that, as she wrote in 1914, was basically the most complete denial of a woman's right to life. A woman's right to life. Not the child, the woman. And it says here that, according to Jennifer Hudson of Time magazine, that's what she said. That's a quote. Sanger supported something called the eugenics movement. Do you know what that means, sweetheart? Okay, let me tell you. It is the selective breeding to limit and discourage the overfertility of the mentally disturbed and physically defective. What she's saying is that it's a Nazi concept in Germany that we're going to ethnic cleanse. We're going to stop the overpopulation of those who we feel are not as worthy to life as we are. And so that's a God concept. That's a God concept. And so she basically assumed the role, and those who followed that, which is a widely popular movement, of playing God. Let me say here, racism is a God complex gone wild, where the race believes that they are superior to anyone else, and the others don't have a right to live, or they should live at their feet. Yeah. And according to another Time magazine article, you might surprise you, but the revered and the renowned and the iconic Dr. Martin Luther King agreed that Margaret Sanger, made contributions to the black community. I don't know where he was thinking about when he accepted the Planned Parenthood Margaret Sanger Award in Human Rights. I don't know. Many people are not aware of that. Well, let's dig a little deeper here, because we're just trying to figure out what's happening with this situation here. This particular woman was allowed to foster and live. It says Sanger's father was a free thinker. He wasn't hemmed up by traditions and borders and rules and regulations. That's where she got her cues from. He was also an anti-Catholic. And in 1899, that's where he began. And her mother contracted tuberculosis during pregnancy, and